We should try to solve the puzzle hedges in the orchards. The prize is supposed to be something valuable.
I'm sorry, sir, but while the hotel is an active crime scene, I regret to inform you that all new bookings, room upgrades, room downgrades, and in-room massages are Oh, you're the special inspector. Mr. Kincannon warned me you'd be checking in soon. Ah, yes. We are most pleased to offer you our grandest of grand accommodations, Inspector. The penthouse suite on our topmost floor is now available for you. The last guest left her belongings behind when she vacated unexpectedly, so we needed a little time to tidy the suite up for you. Simply call the elevator in the lobby, and our highly skilled operator will deliver you to your private floor with efficiency and cheer. My apologies, Inspector, but that would be a severe violation of... All right, my supervisor just walked out of earshot. Some folks just don't understand the importance of gossip. About whom? And what would you wish to know? You know, out of everyone here, I probably knew the least about Helen. I'm not much of an Aetherwave watcher myself. And Helen always had a crowd of admirers chasing her, you see. So she rarely stopped to chat. Friendly enough, surely, but always seemed untouchable. Emphasis on seemed. Now that you mention it, she was usually calm and collected, but every so often I'd see her looking all wild-eyed and intense. It seemed as if she was determined about something. Or maybe she was just hungry? That woman ordered a lot of food. Maybe show business gives you a faster metabolism. Ah, Birdie. Is he bigger than he is dumb, or dumber than he is big? I've a bet with a friend. Not sure we'll ever get it to pay out. Birdie used to be Helen's beau, though he isn't anymore, and not just because she's dead. If I had a... Her deal? Not making them. I'd laugh at my own comment, but everyone knows there's no bigger joke than the prophet of profitability herself. Didn't you hear Helen's interview? That woman is the definition of humbuggery. Anyone who gives her the time of day is a right fool. I mean, Spencer Woolridge has taken several of her productivity seminars, and look where it got him. Don't waste your time. If looks could kill, he'd have put her in the ground 10 times over. Man's clearly jealous of her success compared to his. See, I'd bet we're the only two people thinking about him in all of Eridanos. And I only am because you mentioned his name. If you leave woolly cow milk out, it turns to curds. Leave the curds out, they begin to get stale, then rot. Woolridge is on his way to the trash bin, and everyone knows it. Either he's in denial, or he knew Helen would be checking out soon, judging by his increasing demands for a room upgrade. That's a shame, Inspector. A man of mystery, are you? It certainly is a marvel of modern ingenuity, luxury, and ambition. Please, allow me to answer any curiosities you might have about our building and the amenities on offer. Twice the size of the next biggest room, and kitted out with any amenity you want, as well as... Best to enjoy it while you can, Inspector. Typically, the only people who can afford the penthouse suite have enough bits to suffocate everyone on Terra 2. Also, please inform me if Woolridge gives you a hard time about getting a better room than his. Don't tell him I said this, but everyone on staff wants to strangle him. Most certainly. All the important... You can hardly walk 3 feet without bumping into a tossball. Who would be interested in a staff-only area? most of interest to your investigation. Well, but I'm sorry, Inspector, I'm not authorized to grant you... You'll have to find a way in on your... If you're...
Hello there, my inordinately esteemed guest. If my hello were any more earnest, this loudspeaker would explode. What authorized floor can I bring you to? Oh, so sorry, but you're not actually authorized to visit that floor. Next stop, the finest seat in the house.
Inspector, I understand you've visited the scene of the crime. Halcyon Helen was an important cultural icon. She will be sorely missed. Halcyon Helen was more than a character. She was a brand. Her death will now be associated with Rizzo's Spectrum Brown. I wish I had your blithe sense of optimism. Back to the matter at hand. Your discretion is appreciated. I admit, I'm beginning to feel more confident in this arrangement. Here, I'm granting you access through the gates to the orchards. You're officially authorized to see this investigation through to the end. There is one caveat. Cedric's being rather intransigent about letting you into the spaceport. Possibly he's trying to hide something. Possibly he wants to annoy me. Possibly both. Cedric isn't my people, if he w- You have a lead to chase.
Hi there, Inspector. It might be a little beyond my job description to ask. That's completely fine, Inspector. Now, I'd love to bring you...
Ooh, is that woolly cow shit?
Anyone up for a game of sudden death knockout? Yeah, me neither.
Six milk chocolate bar with caramel and pea-tree nuts in it. It's time for a KYO.
Maybe you haven't heard, but we're in the middle of a lockdown. Swear to the architect, Matthias, if you've lost your rifle's ionization coil again. Oh, wait, you ain't part of my crew. What do you want? Tightly wound? Tightly wound? Damn right, I'm fine. I'm going to my calm place, where there's peace and quiet, and none of my sprat fucking subordinates can bother me. On behalf of Slug, I'd like to apologize for that outburst, as well as all of my future outbursts. Yes, I'm a little wound up. You would be too. Between the landing pad, lockdowns, gate closures, and constant questions from angry guests, I've got a lot on my plate. And if that don't beat all, one of my crew is AWOL. If you're serious, I'd appreciate the help. He's been missing a few days, and we're low on staff as it is. The missing crew member's Evan O'Connell. He's one of about 2 slug agents I can trust with more complex tasks than stand here and look tough. Friendly type. Well-behaved, followed orders. Anyone else, I'd think they got drunk and fell asleep in a ditch somewhere, but O'Connell's not really the type. He was last stationed at the Wilderness checkpoint. I'd search there first.
I hope the murder...
Why would anybody bring rabid dogs up here? Don't this hotel have a policy on animals?
Did we win? How exciting!
Timeline discrepancy. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
It's Amelia. Evan must have gotten into the Spectrum in these crates. Listen to this. Come out! Come out to play! Whoa! He's having a grand old time. I'm gonna take him to A2 under the hotel so he can sleep it off. I'll meet you back at the orchard straight after. See you soon. Evan, come on, you slackwit.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. The garb on this security guard identifies him as a member of the Rizzo's Corporation. His rank would have been that of Jawbreaker or higher. This security guard has experienced premature expiration.
Rest in peace, buddy.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This guard also expired prematurely, following a violent encounter with marauders.
Rizzo's Purpleberry Bunch, a salt-sour candy shop around a sweet purpleberry flavored center.
Did you hear me before? There ain't even no water. What is it? Oh, you're that inspector. Right. What can I do? Space me if I knew. I got here for my shift. Part of the reception for the Spectrum Brown launch was supposed to be out here. Rizzo's rented out the... As you can see, their maintenance person ruined the use of the pool for everyone. Would have been even worse. Can't do much now but wait for the stench to wear off. We found the individual hired to clean face down in a puddle of his own spit in the orchards. Guess he won't be helping. All right. You may want to visit the Sun Parlor. That's where that Rizzo's fool mixed the chemicals he used. Oh, and you could talk to Lily, my boss. She probably has some great advice. I saw her walk toward the bridge to the Purpleberry Orchards earlier. Reckon she's still there. Now, anything else I can do for you?
Analysis of discrepancy the chemical signature of this compound is 80% semblant of fertilizer used in the Purpleberry Orchards. The other 20% is semblant of pool water.
Have you seen the profit of profitability?
Hi.
What the? I was going to wash my hands, I swear. You know, I never imagined Spencer Woolrich would outlive Halcyon Helen. Ah!
So what's the plan?
I saw you meander on out of the pool and into the greenhouse. Now you're here. Does that mean what I think it means? Good. If you're interested in burying the pool, I'm interested in paying you. Maybe not. Maybe I just want Rizzo's working relationship with Slug to implode for the benefit of Spacer's Choice. But you're right. It ain't high profile. And it ain't gotta be. Any damage to Rizzo's is cause for celebration. You ain't gotta concern yourself with my spite. Consider me an average Byzantine, and I'll consider you an average contractor. That's great to hear. Or grand, as the Byzantines are so fond of saying. There's a chemical mixing machine in the greenhouse that has more than a few volatile chemicals. Mix them and render that pool unusable. Anything that ain't a cleaner should do. Dump the mix into the pool, then find somebody in Slug and tell them you did it for Rizzo's. That'll get those. This here's a messy business, friend. And when it comes to messy businesses, the rule's always the same. Don't get too curious, whether it's about Saltuna additives or espionage. Spacer's Choice didn't ruin anything. Rizzo's did. And ain't that a coincidence? But it's also gonna be Rizzo's that permanently puts that pool out of commission. They're getting a tad too cozy with your friendly neighborhood slugs. We don't want either gaining power on the board. Personally, I don't think we're going far enough. Rizzo's is all smiling gun hands and uppity scientists. Wouldn't mind bringing them down with some well-placed bullets, but if you're worried about this hurting your relationship with Slug, I wouldn't. The guard's thicker than the shit in that pool. Tell him you're with Rizzo's and he won't question it. Dandy. Come on back once you've done your deed.
Ah! Hi again. So long as you don't want to... Hell no, it ain't normal. Law almighty, that's a screw-up like none I ever seen. Almost seems foolish enough it must have been done on purpose. Yeah, it's part of the job. I think I'm listed as a security consultant. But all that really means is that if I'm caught without this thing, I get put on pool guard duty. I don't know what happens if I'm caught without it on pool guard duty, but I know that I don't want to find out. Yep, still dead. Usually Rizzo's is pretty good at making sure the people they hire ain't got Tripicale for brains, but that fella clearly wasn't worth trusting. I met him briefly once. Seemed level-headed enough, but that must have been just a front. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made such a mess of things. Sounds good to me. All sounds right by me. It'll be nice to actually have guests to... All right, yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Pool's nothing but an acrid mess of concrete, I hear. Hope I'll hear the sound of Rizzo's heads hitting the floor next. Glad you got something out of it. Here's your pay. Spacer's Choice thanks you.
Have you seen the profit of profitability? And I bet you believed Halcyon...
Oh, thanks a million, Inspector. The smell cleared right up. Well, in a couple hours, the guest might even be back. Then I actually gotta start doing my job. Of course, we're not gonna get a follow-up shipment for the water anytime soon, so they'll have to content themselves on the deck. I got a little something for making my job that much less miserable. It's the key to our storeroom. If my boss asks, I guess I can spare a few bits, and, here, this pack of smokes. Sorry, they don't really load me up with the goods. I gotta get back to it if you don't mind, Inspector.
Something must have gotten lost between you and me. I seem to recall asking you to acidify the pool, not to do slugs work for them. Huh. That kind of language is fit to make a fella sit up a little straighter. Even if you didn't have me by the collar, I might have paid you out of respect. Take your ill-gotten bits and my begrudging respect. Not enough hard-nosers in this stuffy damn hotel.
I can't believe Miss Helen's gone. I used to watch Helen serials. She'd fall into mortal peril every couple episodes, but she always lived in the end. Breathtaking. Have you looked over the edge of the complex yet? Just watch the clouds turning? It's like an ocean without end. Eridanos and Olympus are the two biggest planets in Halcyon. King and Queen of the Sky. Looking out to the horizon, I get this feeling that we're in the company of royalty. Eridanos is 100 times the mass of Terra 2, 800 times the volume, 10 times the diameter. We're flying through the tiniest layer of habitable atmosphere. Sometimes I can't believe how small my world used to be. My horizons were about as wide as the walls of Edgewater. Yeah. We've come a long way.
You know, of all the places we've been, this is the closest I've felt to something that can work. This whole complex, I mean. They've got gainful employment, a wilderness reserve for fun, an enormous roof over people's heads. Maybe after the dust settles, they could shore up some holes and be an example to the rest of the colony.
You, hear about the murder?
Can't imagine what it must be like. Living down here like Spret.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
I'm trapped. In room A3. Please. Someone come help me. I'm feeling weak. Please, just open the door. I'm not sure how much longer I'll make it.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Ready for this.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
The last of them. Incoming!
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Making it look easy.
Why, hello there. Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face to face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm glad to meet you too. Now that our introductions are out of the way, do let me know if I can help you with anything. Well, yes, but having an operator certifies that the right guests end up on the proper floors. We wouldn't want tossball players rubbing shoulders with CEOs. It'd be anarchy. Plus, there's always the risk a guest chips a nail or loses a ring on a button. It's an extra effort, but the Grand Colonial prides itself on personalized service in all things. That and the elevator still works if I'm ever not around. I do take occasional breaks and sleep every so often. Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome, too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station. Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plots. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in. That marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off. Well, not necessarily, but they're fairly prevalent on the other complexes. It wouldn't take much for them to find their way here. Slug claims they've got the problem under control, but I don't understand why they haven't simply gone and exterminated all of the marauders like the vermin they are. Oh, well, I'm just here to push buttons.
I was a few minutes late with room service earlier today. Guest I was trying to serve shot at me with a revolver. I left the drink and ran.
Something like that happened to me once. Hammersmith exec called me up to her room, saying she needed help with something.
Yeah?
Turned out what she needed help with was testing a new Hammersmith heavy machine gun. She technically shot around me instead of at me, but it was still pretty surprising.
Ugh! What the? Oh my law! There's a mosquito in my sandwich. Whoa. Wow! I haven't felt...
Hardline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This collection of frozen food has not been restocked in some time. Many of these items are not available in the Grand Colonial and must have been brought in from outside. The fridge was transported here from one of the guest bedrooms upstairs. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Inspector, I've detected a structural anomaly within a 0.8-meter radius of this locked door. You are not the first person to have considered an act of subterfuge. Please direct your attention to this nearby floor panel. This floor panel is 0.3 millimeters shorter than regulation length, suggesting unauthorized modification.
Incoming, Captain!
Analysis confirms this is Evan O'Connell. Analysis also confirms he is dead. Per additional study of this body's skeletal structure, the cause of death was head trauma. That is correct. Evan was not killed by Iridanium gigaseus. However, Iridanium gigaseus do appear to be responsible for the early decomposition of this body's surface tissue. Further analysis indicates Evan's fatal injuries were sustained from blunt force trauma to the back of the skull, and his head collided with the ground. Respiratory analysis concludes Evan was not intoxicated at time of death. There are traces of blood on Evan's hands, Inspector. Analysis concludes this blood is human, type A. Medical records indicate Evan O'Connell's blood is type O. It is highly likely the blood is the result of an altercation. If you wish to question Amelia Stillwell, Slug's scheduling records indicate that she is presently on duty at the Pilot House checkpoint.
Great work.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Do you have any idea how many...
Inspect. Shit. That's fucking inconvenient. What happened? Well, shit. I'm listening. What do you mean? That doesn't mean much, Inspector. You'd be amazed at how much of each other's blood these idiots get on each other. It's disgusting. Without proof, I have to consider Evan's death an accident. Because frankly, I don't have time to consider it anything else. Thanks for chasing Evan down and saving me some legwork. Of course, now I gotta figure out who the fuck's replacing Evan. A new day, a new pain in my ass.
Listen, I understand the lockdown.
Sure thing, Inspector.
There are genuine tears on it right now. Genuine. I've been here so long, it is affecting my psyche. I just want to leave.
I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. If you go up to your room, you'll be able to request a visit from a counseling mechanical. Sublight under...
Bertie Holcomb is likely beside himself in grief.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Physical analysis reveals this to be a crate of Rizzo's Spectrum vodka, based on bottle shapes and label types. Chemical analysis reveals that this is not a crate of Rizzo's Spectrum vodka, based on flavor notes and presence of excess ethanol.
I don't even need to, Cap. I can smell it already. That ain't Rizzo's. Rizzo's has a sort of sickly sweetness to it, like it's a bottle of liquid lollipops. This just smells like piss. I'm actually surprised you can't tell.
It's real pretty up here. Almost like they cut out a piece of Terra 2 and brought it up to the sky.
Stop one's heart.
I hope the murder...
I don't think I've ever seen an orchard before.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Such lovely weather, call...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Well, sweet hello there, valued visitor. I am sure sorry to break it to you, but our orchards are closed to all officially guided tours at this precise moment in time.
You know, when your folks warn you your face will freeze like that, you aren't supposed to take it seriously.
Why, thank you! Rizzo's encourages all workers to put on a happy face when engaging with valued customers. Rizzo's does beseech you to please purchase one of our self-guided options if you're wishing to join one of our rejuvenative, relaxing, reformatory tours. Now with a Puzzle Hedges trademark maze hunt and special edition taste testing for an extra 35 bits a ticket. What kind of investigation? You wouldn't Oh, drat. This distresses me, and I do not like feeling cross. I warned the orchardist this could happen when we halted our monthly bribe to Slug. They were always a reliable go-between, regarding inspections before now. So, what might you be looking to find out, Mr. Inspector? Oh, gosh golly, for a variety of services. Mainly protection from themselves. But they also served as employee motivators. Slug motivators intimidated our line workers into producing around the clock. And, of course, they kept the inspectors away. The overseeing orchardist had the last groundskeeper deliver a contract termination in the place of our regular payment. Rizzo's decided we don't need their services anymore. See, with our new morale-boosting medical treatments, our employees are much more productive. No need for unsightly intimidation tactics. Sorry, I'm not at liberty to say. Well, you are in luck. I thought she'd hired a private tour at first, but it was Dr. Can't imagine why she'd need to meet with our head researcher on the Spectrum product line outside of her lab hour. That's right. She was. Maybe it might have involved an issue with the launch bat. All I know is one of our certified tour guides could have given her a much more comprehensive tour of the ground. Can't say that I have. And I haven't seen any bloody objects aside from the usual pair of gardening shears. She wasn't, was she? That... Pollinization by killer mosquitoes, indeedy. It's cutting-edge Rizzo's technology. But don't you worry, when a pollinization cycle finishes or is aborted, of course, the very last thing Rizzo's would want is so you'd best steer clear of it for safety. Yes, indeedy. Before my morning clogging last Sunday, I was but a lowly nanner peeler picker on the line. Now I'm responsible for growing every twig. Heaven sweet, no. It's not like he was murdered. He simply disappeared without a trace and hasn't been heard from since. And the groundkeeper before that one? Well, she wasn't missing at all. Her body was found near hive control, covered head to toe in thousands of welts. No mystery, and certainly no murder with what happened there. I mean, you can't exactly hold some mosquitoes on trial. Accidents do happen on the job. Why would I? I am daily filled with bursting happiness by bringing to fruition my life's purpose. I reckon you could talk to my supervisor, the overseeing orchardist. He would know more. I used to ask questions, but gee, I just don't feel the urge to anymore. Of course. Why, you say that as if it's a bad thing. I am You won't find a Rizzo's worker in all. Happy workers lead to happy customers, and repeat customers make the charts look better on. And you know what never fails to bring a smile to my face? The breath. Why, you're standing smack dab. We call this fecund landscape the Purpleberry Orchard. Rizzo's is pleased as mock apple pie to. Of course, tours of any access level must be suspended during a scheduled pollination. There's a reason.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. These footprints match the shoes previously analyzed in the Grand Ballroom. There is a 110% chance with a 10% margin of error that they were left by Ruth Bellamy, the actress known as Halcyon Helen.
You find anything? That's real good work, Captain.
Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen. Timeline discrepancy detected. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Here they come!
Someone's coming.
I just wanted to make you smile!
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Got it. Inside voices.
Timeline. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Please visit the Purpleberry Nut Hut to purchase an audio tour today.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased Timeline discrepancy. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Bits of wicker detected, embedded within the chunks of dark matter. Wicker is not a known ingredient of the dark matter product. The only members of a tossball team strong enough to crack a stick in two are the dedicated hackers, like Black Hole Birdie. Whatever Ms. Ruth Bellamy must have relayed to the tossball hacker during their picnic together instigated a furious increase in his usual strength threshold by 52%.
Something went wrong here. I really hope it wasn't the food.
Incoming!
Hello? I can hear you out there. If you still possess the majority of your mental capacities, please locate the How in the Aether did you get in here? You're not a Rizzo's authorized. Oh, void it all. What does it even matter now? What do you want? Speak up and quickly if you will.